I knew that I wanted to do a foundation only video because it's kind of a big deal. If your foundation doesn't look nice, it doesn't matter if you have amazing eyes that day, amazing lips that day. If your foundation is bright orange, nobody is gonna look at it. They're gonna be thinking, hey Snooki, can I have your autograph? Wait. Okay, I have my hair clipped back and I am ready to show you how I do my foundation. I'm excited because my little kids are taking their naps and we just get to play. I prepped my face by washing it and by applying a really good moisturizer because my face is really dry, and then a primer. A little secret that I do is putting eye drops in my eyes before I start my foundation. That way it has time to set in and help the redness go away before I actually start doing my eye makeup and the rest of my foundation, so it doesn't drip if I put too much in, because I usually do. Some people conceal little spots on their face before their foundation, some do it after. I like to do it before, that way it just blends a little bit more. And I don't really have too many spots, and I just use my finger. I just kind of dab it on. This concealer is just a teeny bit lighter than my skin, but when I add my foundation, it will help hide that. I always start at my chin because I feel like that's where I need the most coverage. If you have acne-prone cheeks or forehead, that's where you're gonna wanna start, because where you first put your brush down is where the most product is gonna go. When I'm done applying my foundation, I go through the little creases on my face right here just to make sure that there's no extra buildup. I don't want any extra product on my face, because when you're layering makeup, you really just need thin coats, because when you get close up on someone's face, you want it to still look good. You don't want to have tons of makeup on your face. I usually take one piece of toilet paper and blot it on my face like this, just to make sure there's no extra makeup. And because when you've laid your foundation down, it does leave behind a teeny bit of residue, like a little bit of extra waxes and stuff that's in the foundation. Not a big deal, you just dab it off. When I place the concealer underneath my eyes, I'm very careful not to come right up to the edge. And the only reason I don't do that, not because I don't think it looks good, but when you get in really close, if you've got makeup on your fine lines, it just accentuates them. So I just try really careful not to apply makeup directly on there. You'll notice when I'm blending, that's the very last place I go, because I have the least amount of product on my fingers and on my brushes. And so I just try to be really careful, because I want to look good up close and I want to look good far away. So that's how I do it. I feel like if I want to look really good, I tend to grab my beauty blender, so I'll use it for now. Without even realizing it, I already switched to my fingers. I just feel like I can get into those little creases a little bit better than when I use the beauty blender the whole time. I just use a little bit of both. With a clean finger, I really go in underneath the eye and make sure there's no extra product. Because no matter how well you've blended it, and even if you set it with powder, if you have fine lines, makeup will set in them. So I just try not to apply that much makeup onto those fine lines. I never used to be very delicate when I would work in my eye area, and to be honest, I never even used to take care of my skin very well. I used to just get sunburned, I wouldn't even care, I would never wear sunblock, and when I would do my eye makeup, I would just tug at that skin. But as I've gotten older, I realized just how much I really want that to stay looking nice. So I just pat it with my finger and just be really delicate in that area, because, well, I want it to last. I apply a little bit of that same concealer just on my chin, and I do it across here and down into like a triangle. And the only reason I do that, I have a really square chin, so I don't want to accentuate the squareness of it and highlight the whole thing. So I just highlight straight across and down this way to kind of hide the corners of my chin. I've always been self-conscious of it. I don't know why. Well, I know exactly why. Because I used to get made fun of for it in elementary. Kind of sad. But you are who you are, and the face you have is the face you have, and you honestly should just love it. Whether it's perfect or not, just love your own face, because what does it matter? I'm adding highlighter just down the center of my nose and in between my eyebrows and on my forehead, just a little bit. Okay, I realize that I'm looking very washed out. I like to do my highlighter first, that's just the way I do it. So far I've highlighted underneath my eyes, down the bridge of my nose, a little bit on the front of my forehead, and on my chin. I like to take any cream concealer, find the hollows of my cheeks, and put a line just about there. When I blend my cheeks, I just try to be really careful because I don't want it going everywhere. So I just use my finger and just slowly kind of blend it the way I want it to. And I always blend up, not down. I'll go back in after I use my fingers to blend with my beauty blender just to make sure that everything is blending nicely together. The next step is setting your face with a powder. If you're oily, you definitely need to set everything that you've done, and you can either use a translucent powder or I'll show you how I do it. I start with my under eye and I use a light shade, and I try to stay away from that under eye where I was talking earlier. I just don't want it to have too much product on it and look worn down. And who knows, maybe I have more wrinkles than the average 28-year-old because I am a little bit concerned about it, but what can you do? Basically anywhere that I've highlighted, I'm going to take this light powder over. Taking a bronzer, I'm going to go back over the areas that I had the darker foundation. With a bigger, fluffier brush, I'm going to go over the bigger areas on my face. And I overlap them just a little bit, just so it's not stark white and then dark. I just try to blend them as I go. It does seem like a lot of steps, but if you want that look, these are the steps you gotta take. Highlighter is not something that I've always used, but I have really fallen in love with it. I think it looks especially good if you know you're going to be taking pictures. And I apply it just to the tops of my cheeks. And sometimes just a little bit down my nose. I'm going to add just a simple little blush. I'm gonna go finish my eyes and I will be right back. Okay, I went and finished my makeup and this is what I look like. So I hope that helped. I hope that answered a couple of questions for some people. I know that foundation can be super hard, but I hope you don't get frustrated. Thank you guys so much for taking the time and watching my videos. I really appreciate it. I think this has been fun, and I hope that you learned a little something today. If not, the most important thing is happiness. If you're happy, it's gonna shine through and you're gonna be beautiful. I hope everyone is happy and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, do you guys want to know the very last thing that I always do? I take a Q-tip, and because I put powder all over my face, I take it just like this, and I swirl it in my nose. Because you don't want, like, have you ever gone out in the sunlight and you've like looked in the mirror or something, or you've caught your nose just right and you've got like powder all over those little teeny hairs in your nose, and maybe I have an extra hairy nose. I don't know. I guess I could just wax it, but I have to practice on my husband first and he won't let me, so I haven't done it myself. But I've heard it's not very painful. Anyways, I don't know. It's just what I do.